So continuing on with managing the marketing function, this period we'll be looking at marketing attributes with close attention to consumer trends and consumer behavior. So the concept here, so if a business really knows their market, they'll know the factors which affect their buying behavior. So with this knowledge, businesses should be able to predict consumer trends and how they react to certain marketing strategies. So a good way of thinking of this is like a child. If you know they don't eat their vegetables at the end of the day, but you know if you give them a treat and say afterwards you eat your vegetables, you'll get some ice cream. You know that their behavior, that they don't like the vegetables, but they're willing to compromise for a certain treat. Same along your market. The more you know about them, you know like what some strategy you'll do and how they should react with it, because you know how they'll behave because you've done your market research. So businesses need to analyze the market. So marketers within the business they'll closely examine the behavior of consumers, to understand like what motivates them, what's their motives in an individual, so what motivates them to purchase a particular product. So business will use this knowledge of consumer motives and try to influence consumer buying behavior by developing a mix of marketing strategies that are related to them. Consumer buyer behavior simply refers to the decisions and actions of consumers when they purchase goods and services. So when we're doing marketing research, the kind of questions you're looking for is like, who are our customers, what do they buy, when do they buy, how often do they buy, for example. But consumer behavior goes a bit deeper and kind of asks why they buy. Like, what are the motives? What's their personality? What is it about this person that makes them buy this product? So you're kind of going a little bit deeper than the market. You're kind of looking at specific people within that market and their motivations, their personality, their psychological traits, their social and economic background, and so on and so forth. And we'll get to that later now in this video. So the four main factors that influence consumer purchasing decisions are psychological influences, socio-cultural influences, economic influences, and government influences as well. So if we look a little bit deeper into psychological influences, we're talking about influence from within the individual, so who they are on the inside almost, that affect their buying behavior. So the four main psychological influences are, as I call annotated to PMAP. So P for perception, M for motives, A for attitude, and another P for personality. So the idea of perception, so really how we analyze information and what we make from it. So you look at this little image here. It could be 4 blocks, and when you look at it one way and 3 the other. And it's the same thing with a brand or a business. People view things differently. Everyone sees things a different way. You look at a painting, you might enjoy it. You look at a movie, you might enjoy it, and someone else might hate it. It's just how it is. So how people perceive your product is really important, and obviously knowing how they perceive it helps you influence their buying decisions. So we're talking about motives next. So motivation, or like what motivates people to buy something. And so what motives that influence consumer choice include comfort, health, safety, ambition, taste, pleasure, fear, amusement, cleanliness, and of course the approval of others. So attitude, or consumer attitude, or customer attitude in this case, is really just a person's overall feeling about an object or activity or a business or brand or product. Attitude towards a business and its products generally influence the success or failure of the business marketing strategy. So you could try, like a lot of times, I hate McDonald's, for example. You just hate it. So no matter what they do, it might work on 9 out of 10 people, but just because your attitude toward that business is a negative one, what their marketing strategies, their promotion strategies, their price, their place, anything they do isn't really going to affect you, because your overall attitude is really hard to shift. And the last one, personality. So this is really the collection of all the behaviors and characteristics that make up a person. So what makes someone unique? So their personal behavior, their personal characteristics, how they act, how they behave, all these different things is really their personality. So, and that will obviously have a great influence of what they buy. It obviously matches their personality, but they're likely to buy it. So just like with psychological, it's more of an internal being and how you are from the inside, and how you brought your personality, your attitude, your motives, your perception, how you see things from inwards outwards kind of is also influenced. But now we look at social culture, so how the outside world and the culture you grow up in has influenced you. So the force exerted by other people that affect customer behavior. So the 4 main socio-cultural influences in this, we're talking about your family and your role in society, peer groups, so who you associate with, who are your friends and what they do. Social class, so where are you economically, upper class, middle class, working class. That will obviously have a massive effect on your peer groups as well, and your culture you actually grow up in, so your subculture. So your personal beliefs that you share with other people, your traditions that are shared with other people. So this really makes up your culture. So your peer group, so you obviously in school now you have your group of friends. So this is your peer group. So this is a group of people with whom a person closely identifies. So you adopt their attitudes, their values, their beliefs. So you're not saying that you're everyone's a sheep, but a lot of times is when you pick your friends based on your similarities. And a lot of times groups also have this similar mentality. So you're friends with these people because they share your views, they share your attitudes, they share your values. So that's more likely why you're friends, and it's more than likely why you're in the same peer group. If you think of it from a human point of view. And then culture, so all the learned values, the beliefs, behaviours and traditions shared by society. So in Australia it's predominantly Anglo-Saxon Christian society, but it was, so a lot of the holidays are obviously Christian holidays. The values are a lot of Christian values. They're obviously starting to change, and behaviours are based on the old Bible Testament and English law, based on the culture we share and the old traditions we share. So economic forces obviously play a massive part, and they really can't be influenced by marketers. So basically the amount of money people have and they're willing to spend. So if during a good time, the economy is doing well, during a boom, people are feeling secure about their jobs. They don't see they're going to lose it. Their savings are saving up. They're not spending it because they're unemployed, whatever it is. So they're likely to spend more in this situation. They've been working hard, got a good job, they feel secure, they'll be spending money. Obviously the opposite is true during a recession or depression, if we get that far. Consumer spending falls to a low level because people are saving, they're worried about their next job because they don't have one. And then this unemployment starts a cycle. So one unemployed person, they're no longer spending or going into the shop and eating out, and then that person's restaurant will obviously start to lose. So these factors can obviously have a knock-on effect, but marketers can't control them. But again, they make a massive influence on how people, consumer spending choices and their behaviour. Another one, government forces. So how the government intervene in society. So they use a number of economic policies, measures to influence the level of economic activity. So they might want people to spend, to obviously maybe decrease unemployment, or they might want people to spend less, so to stop the rise of inflation, for example. They might have some activities. They might use the Reserve Bank to higher interest rates, so people borrow less. And then obviously they'd spend less as well, because people borrow more, so likely to spend. So the government have different policies, how they use the budget, how they raise taxes, how they release taxes in certain areas. Again, this will affect how much people have in their pocket to spend, and this will affect their buying habits, of course. So the government will obviously have policies evolved to control, to slow down, or to speed up the economy. So that can really affect how people are buying as well on a grand scale.